in absence of President Duerhofer.
I would like to nominate Cindy Kessler as our president pro tem this evening in place of Commissioner Duerhofer.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes. All right, good evening. It is October 28, 2021. The time is 6:01. The regular meeting of the Vernon Hills Park Board will now come to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Robbins, Commissioner Senti,
Here.
Commissioner Kessler.
Here. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and vote on separately. Items under the October 28, 2021 omnibus vote agenda are minutes of the regular board meeting, September 30th, 2021, payrolls and payroll through October 28, 2021, in the amount of $624,634.61. May I have a motion to approve the October 28, 2021 omnibus vote agenda?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes. The Board of Commissioners will now welcome any visitors or guests who would like to make public comment. Does he want to say anything? No. Having none, will Secretary Frugiero and Janice Giraldo please come forward for the swearing-in ceremony?
I'm gonna give this space so we can cheat sheet. Okay? Starting with my back to you guys.
That's okay.
So if you raise your right hand, Janice, please. Okay. I, Janice Geraldo,
I, Janice Geraldo,
do solemnly,
do solemnly,
sincerely, and truly declare
and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Park Commissioner
of the office of the Park Commissioner
of the Vernon Hills Park District
of the Vernon Hills Park District
to the best of my
to the
ability.
best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Welcome. Please take your seats and join us. All right, we'll continue on. Marla, are there any changes to the financial reports filed for the period ending September 30th, 2021?
We're good as filed.
Wonderful, thank you.
Cindy,
Yes.
if I can just ask Marla, now that we're done with the year end for the audit, have all the adjusting journal entries been incorporated into our new
Yes.
numbers? Great.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
The board has no unfinished business at this time, so we're going to move on to new business. May I have a motion to approve the 2022 Park Board meeting schedule?
So moved.
Second?
No.
You can second it.
Second.
I can second it and then
No,
we
we
can
have
talk.
discussion.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I would like to know if my peers would like to consider coming early for, I think it's just one, the February 13th meeting? Is that what we're suggesting?
February 3rd.
You want to change the February?
If
oh,
there's any,
17th through the 24th?
yeah, is there any meeting where we can do something early in lieu of two separate evenings? Does that work? for other people's schedule. I know last year when we had one of our budget meetings, we had it, we didn't allow enough time, but now we can just back that up a little bit. That I think may be easier if someone wants to watch. I know, I'm suggesting it might be easier, but it might just be for me. So I'd like to at least ask you guys.
Do we recall how long it took us last year to go through the meeting?
Yeah, we started the meeting at 5, and then we had our regular board meeting at 7, and so we did have a little bit of spillover, but looking back at the minutes, we spent a lot of time on the capital plan
Yes, we
during
did.
that workshop, and we have that scheduled conversation for our January meeting. So our January 20th meeting, which is a 6 o'clock start, we're going to ask the board to come in at 5, and we'll talk about the capital plan for that hour. And so that should take away from the February 17th budget workshop time. So I feel like we have a prescribed 4:30 start, but we're going to look to start the public meeting at 7 that night. So you got 2.5 hours to go over the budget. But then we also have a second workshop in March prior to the March 24th meeting, which the regular meeting's at 6, but we're doing a second budget workshop at 5. So I feel like there's enough time if you want to, try and get that in, but I want to be, I want to be basically sympathetic to the time that you guys have, because we are going to have a special meeting on February 3rd for the Lakeview project bid awards. So you're talking about February 3rd, February 17th, and February 24th. So three of the 4 Thursday nights of that month that we would ask you to be in attendance for meetings. What I think Commissioner Sente is referring to is just trying to back out that 17th and just have it all on the 24th and just do it all in that night.
And did you say February 24th would be at 7?
We
The
would move the
regular
board
meeting?
meeting start to 7, so if you wanted to start at 4 or 4:30 on that 24th and feel like you want to give yourself enough time for the workshop, the staff is very flexible in whatever the board's desire is.
So I'm going to propose something. I do remember it was the capital discussion that went rather long. I actually would like to bump the January 20th capital part of the workshop from 5 to 4:30,
Okay?
and then propose that February 17th, the first budget workshop just be before February 24th, and I think then 4:30, if we start at 7, may be enough, especially since we're separating the two, just as an idea. What do you guys think?
What do you think?
For Thursday afternoon, the earliest I could really start is 4:30, so, and that's cutting it a little close, but it shouldn't be an issue for me. Not any earlier than 4:30.
Okay.
I can make it work.
4:30
Yeah.
is okay for you? So, to be clear, we want to change the January 20th from 5 o'clock to 4:30. We
Yes.
want to remove the February 17th workshop to February 24th, starting at 4:30, and then moving our regular time to 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that
So we're scratching the February 17th altogether?
correct?
Okay, okay.
Okay, I'm good with all of that. So now we need to make an amend to that.
One more question. Do we think that 1 hour for the second budget workshop is enough?
Yeah,
I think it
usually,
is. I'm
yeah,
just
usually by
asking.
that time, it's
We've
just a
worked
lot
through
of,
everything.
it's a lot of follow-up that the board has from the prior month, and then we're providing that detail, and you're gonna get it usually quite a bit, before the 24th of March. So if you had any questions, at that point, we can provide that.
Sounds great. And every other meeting, when it's a special meeting, it seems like it has an explanation behind it. Can we just add to February 3rd that those are for the bids?
It'll be in a,
Okay,
will be an agenda item for the public's benefit.
okay.
Is everybody good with a 5 o'clock on that date for that bid award? That could be a very quick meeting. I'd love to be able to tell you I could do it virtually, so you don't have to come here for a 5-minute meeting, but unfortunately, the new statute doesn't permit that. We need to be live. And we just need a quorum, but that's an important, item, because you're approving a pretty big contract there, for the Lakeview project, so.
I'm good with 5.
So.
Is that okay?
Everyone's good with
5
all of
o'clock,
that?
okay?
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the park board meeting schedule as with these changes made? Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes. All right, may I have a motion to approve the purchase of new park department's truck from Roche Ford out of Bensonville, Illinois, in the amount not to exceed $54,000?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes, yes.
Commissioner Geraldo,
Yes.
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes. Are there any commissioners, volunteers to be the district delegates and alternate for the 2022 IAPD Annual Business Meeting on Saturday, January 29, 2022? Is there anyone who would like to do this?
I'm probably not going to be staying past Saturday morning.
Okay,
I could.
you'd be interested in doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm happy to do it also. So why don't, I'll go ahead and make the motion that I could be the delegate and you could be the alternative. And
Okay.
you can also come, I mean, anyone can always go to the event, so, but
Okay.
officially our 2 names will be on the sheet, okay? May I have a motion to approve myself as the IAP Annual Business Meeting Delegate and Janice Geraldo as the first alternate?
So moved.
Second?
You can second yourself if you like.
Okay, second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Geraldo.
Yes.
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes. Okay, the board will now hear reports from staff. HR Risk Manager Jessica Mitchell.
Good evening.
Hello.
The leadership team reviewed a number of diversity, equity, and inclusion statements in an effort to choose their favorites to be used to influence the VHPD, DE&I statement, and we want to thank the board for their input as well. Our DE&I development will be ongoing. Part-time positions are continuing to be promoted at the Park District. We still have many openings, and everyone can check our website for that. The district personnel policy continues to be reviewed and updates for applicable laws and organizational updates. Our new risk management consultant from Paderma is Seth Norton. He has 10 years of experience in the field. He comes from the College of DuPage, where he was a safety coordinator. What else do we have here? The safety staff has received safety trainings in October and also will be receiving trainings in November. And that will include the supervisor's reasonable suspicion for drug and alcohol, lifting, material handling, winter weather, distracted driving, and fire extinguisher use. We also want to thank Countryside Fire District. They helped us coordinate a fire drill at Lakeview this month and next month here at Sullivan. And the safety committee meeting did meet October 7th this month. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Next, Park Superintendent, James Kim, please.
to start off by saying we usually close our restrooms in early November, but due to high demand in our parks, we decided to just watch the weather and reevaluate when we will close them. Right now, we're looking at a week in 2 weeks, but that's just tentative. If the weather does go back up, we'll keep them open as long as possible. That is the same for the VHEC restrooms at the VHEC site. For Little Bear, Big Bear Lake, we have contracted with Integrated Lake Management, ILM, to put together a comprehensive lake management plan specifically for Little Bear, Big Bear Lakes at Century Park. This management plan will help guide the district on implementing best practices for these lakes. One of the main items in this document will be addressing the ditch that supplies water from Lake Charles to Little Bear, Big Bear Lake, which is over by Century Park North, right by the new playground. Provides necessary documentation for any future grant considerations for improving water quality and shoreline restorations. This management plan will need board approval and adoption at the December board meeting. Hopefully they'll be finished by then. A member of the ILM team is scheduled to appear at the December board meeting to present this lake management plan. In addition, we are working on a district-wide tree management plan for similar reasons. We're working on this to approve sometime in 2022, and as well as trying to get grants. This is a really good opportunity to get our name really out there. Really big thank you to our group of volunteers from Vernon Hills High School. We're cleaning up the shorelines at Lake Charles, the lake, literally, Saturday, October 2nd. They removed a huge amount of debris. It was 3 truckloads, including a couple tires, so it was really helpful that they went in there and got everything. To the public, we removed the Grosse Pointe fitness stations as per easement use agreement with Commonwealth Edison. We are anticipating replacing the 5-year-old group fitness orientated equipment next to the basketball courts with a 13-plus-year-old group fitness equipment, so basically for adults. We're looking to do that sometime in 2022 because we had to remove it so abruptly. At the Family Aquatic Center, we conducted a full operation of the back half. We were cautiously optimistic. We are looking to address many of the items that we found deficiency in sometime either this winter and the next spring before we open. The Lakeview Kitchen project is finally complete. The results are what we expected, and staff are going to be happy to be moved back into their kitchen. This is also good notice. Deer Path, Kids Castle, we are working with Lake County Public Works on repairing 2 spots for their sanitary lines that are going out towards Corporate Woods. Lake County has carved out 2 spots right now that they've bored to see where the underground piping is leaking, or the forced pipe is introducing air into the line, which is making it gurgle. Closure of some of the paths and possibly the restroom are expected sometime next week. We do have signs out right now on the path saying that the east-west path in front of the restroom is definitely going to be closed. And if heavy trucks need to be coming in and out of there, we will put out more notices on paths. The contractor does know it's a heavily used park, so they will be monitoring people trying to walk around, gawkers and whatnot. Our OSLAD grant for Harmon Park has been submitted to IDNR, and they have confirmed our reception of the application. We hope to have some news right before the end of the calendar year. If we are awarded this grant, we are scheduled to commence in 2023, not next year. Some environmental news. I want to tell everyone, because Halloween is on this weekend, we're having another pumpkin composting event at the Indianwood Garden Plot / Park Maintenance Facility at 1400 Indianwood Drive, Friday, November 5th from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are accepting gourds, pumpkins, corn stalks, hay bales, and other organic, natural Halloween decorations. We just ask people wishing to drop off to remove paper, plastic, and metal decorations that they put on. Paint is okay. When you're dropping off, Midwest Organics and Swalco have provided a pallet of compost soil for free while supplies last. Swalco and us, our Vernon Hills practitioners, are just putting out composted soil to see how well it works in our community and to help develop the circular economy. Mentioning the circular economy, our year 1 for compost soil use at the Indianwood Garden Plot through the USDA grant process is over. Year 2 is coming up next year. We will be applying another 2 to 3 inches of compost soil over every garden plot for next year. We've had some positive comments from gardeners, and it's much improved soil over this year. I really just want to thank the United States Department of Agriculture for putting this out and for SWALCO for really thinking about us. And last, we are working with Lake County again on a Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity grant for the CV ditch. We're working with Lake County, who is working with the Village of Mundelein, the Park District of Mundelein, the Village of Libertyville, the Village of Vernon Hills, and ourselves. The purpose of the grant is to reduce nutrient and sediment loading into the CV ditch and into Lake Charles. The CV ditch runs from downtown Mundelein through Hawthorne Melody, through the golf course, and deposits into Lake Charles. More details can be shared if we are awarded this grant through Lake County. And that concludes my report. If there's any questions.
I have a question. I know the Vernon Hills Soccer Club is trying to do a tournament at VHAC November 20th. The bathrooms would still be closed?
That's a village issue. They will
Okay.
have plenty of porta potties.
Okay.
The synthetic turf is actually rented through December 12th.
Oh,
So
okay.
the village is prepared to put out porta johns for that field particularly, so you don't have to walk as far.
Okay, thank you.
I was wondering, for the Lakeview Kitchen, so it isn't that clear, was it completed on budget and on schedule?
Schedule, no. Budget, yes.
So was the schedule something that was a material delay?
Yes, it was a
That-
material delay on the tile,
Okay.
countertop, even labor to put in a dishwasher. It's a struggle.
A little bit from the COVID situation, yes.
Just distribution to trucking to
Okay.
just lack of people wanting to install, really.
Okay, thank you. And I have not yet been able to get over to our new playground, but it was just a suggestion because maybe some of the public haven't either, and it's so nice. I was wondering if, when we have something completed, maybe if we could snap a quick photo and then put it on the screen for people who are watching. Might encourage them to go.
This screen.
Yeah, just a thought.
I think that does.
Victoria, can you pull up our social media site?
Well, but, yeah, that's it.
Commissioner Robin?
James, a couple of things. Regarding the Family Aquatic Center, I'm concerned about the water loss, and I was wondering if we could get a budget for repairs that are going to be happening by the springtime, so we can just, look at it and approve it.
Yes, we'll be contacting leak detectors as soon as probably next week to come out and take a look, and they are going to use probably hydrogen gas so they can sniff out where it's leaking through underground, and they'll give us a recommendation of where the spots are leaking. Internally, we do know we have some concrete joints that need to be resealed. How much water loss is going through some of those joints is really unknown right now. It's kind of a guessing game and wait and see. But we do know have 3 spots for sure that we can work on. That's probably only accounting for a quarter of the loss, I would say. And so, yes, we're gonna work on that. I hope to have something by maybe the December board meeting.
I'd also like to see a time frame for these repairs, whether they're gonna fall in this fiscal year or in our next fiscal year.
Yes, I can do that.
I also have, I didn't understand this one sentence under the Family Aquatic Center. We are evaluating what is needed to operate a facility at 90 days versus what can be left alone for after next year's season.
So
Is
we
it-
only ran the system for 2 days. So there's a level of mechanical failure and attrition if you do it for 90 days. So Dave Swipe is our facility foreman and I are gonna evaluate some of our mechanical systems if they can handle a full season of operation. It's a very different animal, just turning it on for a couple days versus 90 years of abuse and use.
Thank you.
I have just one question. The Kids Castle repair area, how long will that pathway be blocked off?
blocked off Monday through, they want to open it by Thursday, the
Okay.
4th, I believe I wrote. The one repair is very far off the path. It's closer to the grass area to the east of the playground. The other repair area is near the dragon sign or the restroom. They've kind of pinpointed in that general area, but they have to dig 10 feet wide by 15 feet deep, and they're gonna have to bring a huge trench box to keep, it's an OSHA standard. So if, they will cover it each night, and if they need to go longer because of weather or they can't find it, then they'll just contact us and we'll just have to keep on working with them.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, Recreational Superintendent, Tom Ritter, please.
Good evening.
Hello.
Just highlight a few programs that are coming up that I want to promote and let you know what's going on. One of our biggest youth sport is our youth basketball leagues, which start gameplay in January on the 15th. Practices start the week of November 29th. We did extend our registration deadline until this coming Monday, November 1st, just because enrollment was lower. It's higher than it was last year when we barely got a program off the ground. It's not where it was 2 years ago, so we're trying to get some last push out there. So numbers are starting to increase. Once the season starts, we play a 10-game season on Saturdays that runs through the middle of March. Along that sports lines, the adult basketball leagues begin, registration, I should say, for adult basketball begins November 15th. We did not have a chance to play last year, so hopefully losing a season doesn't hurt us, because I don't think anybody played basketball last year. It's just against COVID. But we offer a variety of leagues at different competitive levels, and they play on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I just want to thank Hawthorne School District 73. If they didn't let us use their gyms, we couldn't run these programs. There's just too many practices, there's too many games on the weeknights and weekends, so I appreciate their letting us get back in the gyms again this year. Two quick highlights of the past. I usually don't focus on the past, but the trivia night went really well a couple weeks ago. We had 9 teams. We had some tiebreakers to see who was going to win. People had a great night. It was a very, very fun event. And the next morning, I forgot to put in my report, we had our Trunks and Treats, which is trick-or-treating in the parking lot, and there was over 800 people here, so it was great. It was packed. So nice to see the crowds returning for our events. Tomorrow night is our annual Fall Fest. I just want our residents to know that typically we take 800 to 1,000 registrants. We limited it to 500 this year for obvious spacing reasons, and we did just recently sell out, so we're looking forward to having a magic show and storytelling, a glow-in-the-dark dance party. Trick-or-treating in the gym is usually the main draw of this event, and it should be a very nice night tomorrow night, so we look forward to seeing our residents. And the next one down the road is our New Year's Eve family party. Again, we do a ball drop at about 6 o'clock, so it's a pretend midnight, and people can still have their evenings. Again, that usually is a pretty full event. I don't know what the registration is at this point, but I encourage people to register soon. Again, that is on the actual day, December 31st. A quick plug for the soccer club. We take registration on behalf, part of our partnership is we accept the registration on behalf of the Vernon Hills Soccer Club, and they're now taking registration for their spring season. People can register online or at either of our facilities, and the information will also be in our winter-spring brochure coming out late November. Just want to let everyone know that our PALS program is doing well, our after-school program. In a very short time, we went from 2 schools to operating in 4 schools. COVID brought us back. We're in 3 schools right now. We're at Elementary North, South, and I call it the kindergarten building, because I always say it wrong, School for Early Learners. But we just want people to know we're always striving to get back to 5 schools. We would love the kids to be able to stay in their own respective schools, but it's a numbers game and it's a staffing challenge. But even at this point of the school year, if we found the right site directors, we would be willing to reprogram it and move the kids back to their own schools. So it's going well. We're hoping to find some more leadership staff and spread back into their schools if we can. And 2 things that weren't in my report I wanted to mention. One of our dance staff had to resign for various reasons, and we're struggling to find another dance instructor. So if anyone in our community has a background in dance or knows a good dance instructor, please apply. It's on our website. We are definitely in need of a dance instructor. And finally, I forgot to mention, we had part of our strategic plan is to continue to build partnerships in and recreation programming. And a couple weeks ago, Lacey and I and Jack met with representatives, they're the activity directors, I believe, at Brookdale Senior Community. The actual one on Milwaukee, and then they have one that I refer to as Hawthorne Lakes right here. Their two activity directors met with us, started to talk about possible relationships and partnerships, and it went very, very well. It was a very, very nice meeting, and we're looking forward to meeting again in January to help see if we can fine-tune what we can do to help each other and support each other. And then Jack and I met with the community education director for District 128. They run the adult community programs for the most part. There are some kids. And that went well also. So looking forward to continue those meetings and meet our goals in the strategy plan. And that's my report, unless there's any questions.
No questions, but just really happy to hear about that Brookdale partnership you guys are looking into.
Went very well.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Next up, she's already here. Finance and HR Superintendent, Marla DeSico.
I just wanted to briefly mention, because I think they do such a great job, Paderma, we just got our medical plans for 2022, and they've just done such a great job at holding medical costs. So our HMO is going up by 4.9%, and our PPO is actually going down 1%, and that's because we're changing providers, and we're moving that to Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is where our HMO already is. So there's going to be some savings there, and we think it'll be an improved plan for staff as well. And then if you look at their 5-year average, the HMO over 5 years is only going up 4.1%, and the PPO plan 1.8. So with everyone knowing how much health plans usually go up, those are great numbers. Just a little information on our upcoming fall finance calendar. We did approve the audit at the last board meeting, and so now it has been filed with Lake County. Following that is the creation of our treasurer's report, which has also been filed with Lake County, and then we put in the newspaper notice of availability of audit, so if we have interested community members, they can get that information. It's also on our website, which is in that notice. Then the last thing we do in follow-up to our audit is we apply every year with GFOA for our Distinguished Report Award. And just a little interesting side note, since we're talking about our DE&I lens right now, Bruce, I don't know if you've heard this one yet, but GASB is going to change. We all use the acronym CAFR for the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. They're going to move away from anyone using that because it's actually a offensive slur for blacks in South Africa. And because GASB is a global concern, you know, they work across countries in that terminology, they want to make that change. So they're talking about moving it from CAFR to ACFR, the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. So I thought that was interesting that they're trying to make that change. Then in November, our next board meeting, we'll have our truth and taxation resolution in preparation for our tax levy. We'll have our bond ordinance presentation. And then we were going to have our five-year financial projection presentation, but I just learned today Andrew Kim, who'll be doing the presentation, is about to become a first-time father in early November. So we're going to try to accommodate his schedule, and actually helps all of us, and we're going to move it to December's meeting, that report. And then also at the December meeting will be our 2021 tax levy. Anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Marla. Next up, Facility Manager Lacey.
Very excited to have our pool rendering up at the facility so our members are able to come in and see what the pool is going to be looking like. We have one rendering posted in the lobby so they can see when they first enter, and we have another one on the pool deck. We also have a survey going out to our swimmers who utilize lap swim, water aerobics, and water walking to basically determine their likelihood of using Mundelein, Buffalo Grove, and the Family Aquatic Center during construction. So that survey is out right now and ongoing. Facility attendance for the month of September this year was 4,574 visits compared to September 2020, which was 3,397 visits. For aquatics, the Turtles had their first district meet in Buffalo Grove on October 9th and their first USA meet October 23rd and 24th. Programming, we recently had a yoga for back hair class with Linda Benton that went, it was very well received with 7 participants, and we're exploring further options for yoga classes for special populations. Our Holiday Hustle program is going to be starting up in November. This program is for motivation and inspiration to help establish and continue healthy habits through the anxieties that can be associated with the holidays. Entry for this program is just a donation to one of the charities that are associated with the Vernon Hills Park District. The group exercise schedule has been adjusted to accommodate for classes moving indoors. We'll continue to offer virtual classes with Ann McKenna, and we also have classes that will be split from the Sullivan Community Center in the dance room and over in the studio at Lakeview. We have some new membership options coming up. We have a 30-day pass that is going, it will appear in the winter spring program guide. This is a 30-day pass that will not renew, so we do have some people that are in town temporarily that are just looking for that short-term pass. So that will be available with the winter spring program guide. Beginning in December, Lakeview Fitness will be offering a new promotion called Ready Set Summer. This is a promo that will be, it's a 6-month membership, and it'll be on sale from December 1st through the 15th, and passes will expire 6 months from the date of purchase. And the Lakeview Fitness Winter Break student membership will be available for purchase during that same time as well, from December 1st through the 31st, and will expire 30 days from the date of purchase. This is only for students, so a student ID is required, so it will have to come inside to purchase. That concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Do we pay those partnering park districts for our members to go there while we're under construction?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and some, at this time, they're not requiring reservations, so they're free to just go over and use the pool. Water aerobics is not included in that, though. It's just for lap swim.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, Executive Director Jeff. You gotta come out to the podium.
Hey, Theo, you want to do my report for me? Oh, okay. Okay, good evening, everybody. Just a few items here that I wanted to talk about. Like, I know we've talked tomorrow with our Fall Festival, and we'll have Commissioner Sente, Kessler, and Geraldo will be attending. So we start at 6 p.m., so if you can come a few minutes beforehand, and then we'll have you right as all the kids and family members walk into the gymnasium. We'll have you at the first table there, just passing out bags and candy, and I think we have the Vernon Hills Queens are going to be there, the pageantry, and they'll help with some of that too. In absence of Cheryl tonight, she's at a conference. We just want to make the public aware that our winter spring program guide is going to be delivered to their homes the week of the 16th of November. So we should look for that. There's a lot of activities, a lot of programs that we're covering from basically November all the way through early April. A lot of activities that are going to be taking place within the district. And then along those lines, all our charitable giving options that we do for the community, Toys for Tots. We have a Midwest Veterans Coat Drive. Those are here in our Sullivan Center. And I believe at Lakeview, the Toys for Tots, we also do. And then we also do food pantry for Vernon Township, and we do one usually as a staff for District 73. We communicate with them regularly in terms of maybe some specific needs that they have. An update on the Lakeview construction project. We met yesterday. Most of our meetings have been virtual. Lacey and James and I met with the project team to just go over all of our MEP, our mechanical, electrical, plumbing, our IT issues, and then we talked a lot about just a lot of the construction elements that are going to impact the aquatic facility. And so we feel like, we made a lot of good progress in terms of just getting some clarity on some of the items that we'd like to see included in the plan. And so we expect sometime within the next couple weeks that we're at about 95% of the design development stage. So that that's for our construction management firm. We want them to obviously be at the 100% commitment. So when they put this, project on the street for bid, for public bid, that we know that we're going to get a fair amount of attention on, all the different trades that are going to be bid for this project. The schedule then would be after sometime about the 10th of January, where they're going to prescribe to do their bid openings, and then it'll take them a couple weeks to vet all of those vendors. That's why we had to kind of move that special meeting, because that January 20th date that we're going to meet is just going to be a little too challenging for them to be able to feel comfortable to present those to the board for adoption. So that's what will take place on that February 3rd date at 5 o'clock. But very pleased with just the communication that both the architectural firm and the construction management firm and our civil group have been communicating to us. James and Lacey have been doing a tremendous job with just meeting with different vendors that are coming through Lakeview. James is amazing, quite frankly, as someone that helping us manage this project. When you have these questions continuously by our consultants that got to inquire about things, and he's just Johnny on the spot responding to questions related to especially our aquatic and all of our mechanical operations. It's a joy for me as an administrator to not have to, because I'm going to be honest with you, a quarter of the things that they ask about, I don't have a clue. And he's very well versed in that. So thank you to James and his ability to kind of weed through all that. We do know that some of the prices have gone up on this project, and Camosi has been really clear and upfront about that with us in terms of what they've seen on current projects that are being built. And a lot of it is just supply chain issues that, you just can't get product. And we talked about that a little bit with our kitchen project that started in April and just finished, when we expected it to be done in July. So they're aware of that, and they're going to make that very clear to those vendors that they vet, that say, oh, I'm going to deliver on doors, or I'm going to deliver on some kind of electric or plumbing, that we're going to be clear with them that we've got this window from March to October to complete this project. And so we as owners are making that very clear to our team, that we got to make sure that the message is clear to our vendors that they can deliver on that. And so they're assuring us that they're doing that with conversations they're having with all their prospective vendors that are going to bid on this project. We have a public officials meeting scheduled for Wednesday, November 9th, and that's at Village Hall. If any of the commissioners are interested in attending that, please let me know. I think it's a 1 p.m. start. We moved those back. They used to be 5:30. And again, we want to encourage elected officials, our board members, to come. And I always, if you guys tell me that 1 o'clock's not good, then as somebody who kind of leads this group, I want to make that, clear to the rest of, my fellow administrators that, we should think about moving this. So, because all of you work for a living, may not be able to attend that meeting. So please let me know about that. You're aware of the impact fees that we received earlier this week, or last week. And so that's been deposited, and those are funds that are going to be earmarked for the Lakeview improvements, and then some. So I'm glad we finally got all of those funds in our hands. And then just kind of lastly, Marla alluded to this 5-year financial plan that I have as part of my executive work plan. And I know we've spent a lot of time on this over the last couple months, but I feel like this is, we're going to introduce this to the board at our December meeting, and I'm going to make sure you get it in plenty of time so you can read the document. I fully expect that we should have some good dialogue and good questions on this. This is something that I know, some of the board members have addressed with me over the last year or two in terms of just concern about things like impact fees and, if they start to go away. We've been fairly reliant on those, but we've also had a tough 2 years as an organization in terms of our steady revenue streams, and so we've taken that into account in terms of our spending. And so we want to be really, really clear with the board and make you feel like, at the end of the day, that you're comfortable with this. And we went with an outside group that specializes in these types of plans, and so they've done a lot of this work, and so that made us just more comfortable than trying to handle a project of this magnitude just internally. So I think you'll be happy with the consultant at the end of the day, and we'll just look forward to seeing how, the kind of final product on that. That's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions from the board.
I just had a random question around like Fall Fest, for example. Like, I know we have our own table, we'll be handing out candy, but do we ever take the opportunity to like advertise whether it's open positions or, gosh, I was thinking of something else earlier, but something like even just membership at Lakeview. Do we ever do anything like that?
We don't have a table there but Lacey and her team do get out into the community through the chamber. We just did they were just at a fair yesterday, right, at the high school.
Okay.
And I know Jessica, within HR, pushes all of our literature out to any public entity. We share a lot of information with School District 73, as they do with us, because they're in need of a lot of help too. And so an example is, they need teacher aides, and we need PAL staff. So collectively, we're trying to find, if you find an aide that you can work 5 hours a day, and we can use them for 3 hours at PALS, we've now got somebody that's going to work an 8-hour day, and they pay benefits. And so that's, an attractive potential position. But quite honestly, Janice, we can't find people. I mean, and it's, as Tom just mentioned, I mean, anybody that knows anybody, I was talking with Commissioner Kessler about this yesterday, it's all of us here in this room, and then some, are just trying to do anything we can to recruit people. And we're not the only, we know we're not the only entity. Everybody's faced with the same problem. But yeah, as leaders now, as board members, anything you can do to push that out, we're happy to, yeah. And it's not a bad point to just maybe have some flyers. We can easily print up some flyers that we can put out tomorrow. We don't necessarily, this is a fun night, and I don't necessarily want it to be like hawking our wares about, oh, we need help, in jobs, versus, when you got kids that are walking around looking for candy.
Yeah.
So we want to be careful of that. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no commissioner communications or committee reports to be heard, and that there is no board correspondence on file. So the board is now here, commissioners' comments. Commissioner Robbins.
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Sente.
Just that I want to heartily welcome our new board member. It's really nice to have you, and we expect big things.
Thank you.
But welcome to you and Theo, and excited to have us all work together.
Thank you.
Commissioner Geraldo, anything to say?
No comments except for I was going to say, thank you for being so welcoming, the entire group actually for that matter, so thank you.
Well, and I just want to say I welcome you very much. I'm looking forward to working with you and collaborating on a lot of great things for our community. So, welcome. And having attended all business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I was going to say, come on, I'm going to have a second.
The new commissioner.
And can I have a roll call?
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Commissioner Geraldo.
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes. So can I get a little help from Theo?
Yeah, do you want to help?
Look, there, Theo,
She's got a hand.
will you help me? We have to bang this. Will you help me? I thought you'd be just the person. Okay, we are adjourned at
6:51.
6:51. You could have done that.